Today we're talking about how your website looks generally, first impression, what matters, and also a little bit of a specific look at resources you can offer your ideal prospect so that they're more likely to convert. Welcome to this episode of Dear Ficomm. My name is Carolyn. I am VP of Consulting at Ficomm Partners, and I'm thrilled to answer today's question. It came from Melissa Ellis, a CFP in Kansas. Hi, Melissa. Thank you so much for submitting a link to your website, these questions, and anyone else watching today, feel free to submit your marketing question for free feedback on Dear Ficomm. The link will be below this video. Okay, Melissa, I want to address the question that you submitted. So there was a two-parter here. Melissa sent the URL to her website and said, I'm not quite sure if my app should be there on the front page, and also how does the website look in general? So let's dive into that. Okay, here is Melissa's website. Melissa, you told me that your target ideal prospect is navigating a transition. It's a woman who's 35 to 50 years old, going through a divorce or a big career transition. So overall, how does your website come across in general? I say it fits that. This website is calming, it's organized, you guide me through it, there are some resources I can check out, and overall your tone is spot on. If I step into that ideal prospect's mind and I imagine reading this, I could imagine that they feel pretty connected to you and they feel like they're in the right place because you are speaking directly to them using the words that they would use. This isn't a website that's littered with jargon and overwhelming detail. You've met them in their moment and you've added calm guidance with your expertise sprinkled in. So very, very well done. In terms of the opportunities here to grow the firm based on what I see, there are some low-hanging fruit moments. So right off the bat, at the first moment I come to a website, I'm doing a scan, right? And this is the app that you mentioned. I'm doing a scan, it's kind of playful with your favorite F word, divorce with financial confidence, some really beautiful photos of families. And then I hit the moment where I'm meeting you for the first time. I love that you've added this to the bottom of your homepage. But here's actually an opportunity to adjust the tone. I wonder, would your ideal prospect, in the ideal scenario, be glad that you are a solo, independent advisor that they would work side by side with during this process? My instinct is that they would love it. What I'm seeing in your bio and on this page and in the navigation is you use words like us and we do not believe. I think this is an opportunity to step into about Melissa or about me and welcome them as your true self. This also helps build trust because imagine I'm reading about us and we do not believe in this firm, and then I meet you and I learn that you are solo. That would create a disconnect. So what's more ideal is we bring your reality and your best self to match your marketing materials. We don't want to disconnect. We want to attract the right people who would love to hear that in my divorce, I'm going to work with Melissa. Okay, so that's definitely an opportunity. If I were making a recommendation, I would recommend you lean toward about Melissa, about me. I do not believe. Okay, the second thing I see as an opportunity is more at the end of the funnel when you're actually going to convert the lead. And that is the question of, what is your initial offer? If I like what I'm seeing on this website, which I am, what's your initial offer to engage with me? Right now, I see I could book a complimentary consultation, and that sends me to this page, a Calendly where I can book it. It's really great. But I'm not super clear on what this offer is. At Ficomm, we see an initial offer, this kind of packaging of the first call or their first meeting around something is a transformative growth strategy. So, absolutely an opportunity in your situation. What's good here is you probably have insight into what your prospects want to talk about on meeting one, or the types of conversations you could guide them through and thinking you could guide them through during meeting one. So, just again, take the reality of what that first call is and package it as a clear, valuable, tailored experience. Okay, the other question you had for me was about the app. So let's go and scroll through the app. It's right here on the homepage, like you mentioned, and you were kind of saying, I don't know if it really should be there. My question is, are people downloading it? Like, are people trying your app? And are they coming to you during call one and saying, I love your app? If that's not happening, then we've gotten their feedback, right? Because no action is feedback that it might not be the perfect moment to share it. If I were managing your website and making some changes, I would simply move this to the resources page. So you have a resources page I will open up in a moment where I see your blog and I see some FAQs. You could add the app to that page if you want to share it, right? But I do even think if you list the app as a resource, it could use a little bit more explaining about why I should start this before meeting with you, right? Like, does this app actually fit in the sales process? Is this a good sales tool, not a marketing tool? So just consider where it really fits the ideal prospect's experience. Only you will have that insight because you know how people are engaging with the app on the first place. Let's go to your resources page though, because when I think about your website and as I navigated around it, I saw the resources as an opportunity to freshen up. So there's a workshops page, there's the Facets blog page, and resources are a wonderful tool on a website to help people get to know you and for you to demonstrate some of your point of view and your education or experience on topics. Even simply writing a blog post about the exact thing that's on their mind or offering a checklist resonates with the right people, right? So hugely important to have resources. When I navigated around your resources, I felt like they could be refined, right? So you wrote one blog post in 2019 and then it's 2018. You clearly did some regular blogging. What's the opportunity here to update this experience? Because we want the resources to look tailored and fresh, and we want your firm to look like it's still in business. So there is a moment here where I would recommend the experience is updated. You could think also about the podcast. There's a link to the podcast, but actually when I clicked on it, it didn't send me to the podcast. So if you simply spend some time looking at the resources and thinking, what is the ideal experience for a divorced prospect to have? And then spend some time creating those resources, publishing them, and then taking away the things that don't need to be there to streamline it. Again, Melissa, this is not a huge emergency situation. It's more like a big opportunity to level up the experience of being on your website. Melissa, I hope some of this feedback and clicking through your site with recommendations has been helpful to you. Again, we don't need a huge website rehaul, but some of these refinements could really change the experience of your ideal prospect. Okay, thank you everyone for tuning in, and I will see you in the next episode.